Hi friends, it's Angie here with Too Cool Stamping. I'm so glad to be back with you again. We're going to do another Sale-a-Bration featured class today with the Adorable Owls stamp set. That is featured in your Sale-a-Bration flyer on page 4. Remember, during Sale-a-Bration only, you can earn this stamp set for free with a $50 order. So that's during Sale-a-Bration. That ends on February 28th. So we're coming up to the end of Sale-a-Bration. You don't want to miss out. If there's anything left in this little flyer or in the More to Celebrate flyer that I have linked on my blog site, you can go to that at toocoolstamping.com and see those. If there's anything out of either one of those flyers, you're going to want to earn those before the end of the month because then they're not going to be available anymore. So we're going to feature today the Adorable Owls set. Super, super cute. Also, we are featuring, once again, we did this for our last class, but I had so much left over because it's such a huge mega pack. And I wanted to, once again, feature the Dandy Designs Designer Series paper. You guys, okay, it says it's free with a $100 order, but it is such a huge, huge, huge mega pack that, like I said, I had a ton left over and I wanted to make sure that last time we did the Beautifully Happy set, which is also a Sale-a-Bration item. I do have a few more of those kits left, so if you missed it, message me and I'll talk to you about it. But that was more, it was a floral and it was pretty and it looked great with that paper. Today we're doing whimsical with that paper. It's just so, so versatile. Gives you a beautiful, colorful, a color palette, beautiful combinations, bright, springy, just so many uses for that paper. And I'll show you the paper once again for this time when we turn the camera around. Again, this time we're going to be doing a 5-card class. And so I'll show you all the cards for the 5-card class, and I'll show you my Too Cool versions as well, so you can see some different ideas there. But before we do that, I wanted to once again remind you, since we are at the tail end of Sale-a-Bration, don't forget about the starter kit special that's happening right now. I know I have lots of customers that spend a lot on their orders to very consistently, and if you are one of those people, you're going to want to check into this because this will save you money. There's 3 different options again till the end of Sale-a-Bration, which is February 28th. Option 1, you can spend it's $129 for the starter kit. You're going to get your choice of $175 worth of product. So right away you have a ton of value, a lot of extra product that you're going to be able to get. Plus, you're going to get this really cool boho mini embossing and die cutting machine. This is a new in color, kind of a sneak peek of one that's coming up in May, so that's cool. The second option, same thing, only you get the white version. So if you don't want the blue, maybe that's not your thing, then you can get the regular white mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. Again, it's $129. It's a little bit more than the traditional starter kit, but you're going to get so much more value. This is $63 alone. And then you also get that $175 in product of your choice. Anything up to $175. Plus, don't forget free shipping. That's going to save you 11% on all of those products as well. Okay, that's 2 options. And then if you maybe already have a die cutting machine, you don't need one of those. So you can go down to the option 3, and that's that's $99. That's your standard starter kit price, $99. And you're still going to get $175 in product of your choice. Normally you would get $125. So you're going to get an extra $50 in product value of your choice. Again, free shipping, and then all of the extra perks that you're going to get from being part of the Too Cool Stamping family and also a part of Stampin' Up. So you're going to get the 20% discount being a demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and you don't have to sell. You don't have to do workshops or classes or anything like that. Just enjoy the discount. That's why I'm saying if you're purchasing on a consistent basis and you're spending, $100 a month or even $50 a month, this is going to start saving you money if you're going to get that discount for 20% off. Plus, there's a ton more perks for being a demonstrator. Lots of different ways that you can, you get sneak peeks of things before anyone else. You can pre-order from the catalogs. You know, there's lots of different ways that you can save some money with different incentives that they offer demonstrators. Plus, being a part of my Too Cool Stampers team, you're going to get extra incentives as well. I know many people have asked me, if you're watching this, you might earn some of my live class kits, and you might think, oh, well, then I'll be buying from you and myself in order to be a demonstrator. Nope, you don't have to do that. You can, if you're a part of my team, you can get the class kits that I offer for just $15, and that's a discounted rate off of my $20 price that I charge for my any kits that I might have left over. So you do get a chance to get the kits. You can buy the products on your own. That way you can save that 20%. So it's a perfect way to get the kits if you want. I also provide all of my class tutorials to my team members. So you don't have to purchase a thing from me. You can just go on to my Too Cool Team tutorial library and get all of those for free. So those are just a couple of little perks. We have lots of other things, a Facebook community. We do events online once a month. We just have lots of things going on in our community, and I would love to have you be a part of it. So if you have any questions, message me. If you already have my email, then, you know, if you've done business with me before, then just contact me that way. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have, or you know, address any hesitations that you have. You guys, this seriously, no strings attached, no obligation to sell, just order, get a good deal in and of itself, and then save at least 20% as you know, while you're a demonstrator. So ask me about that if you are interested. We're running out of time. You don't want to wait till the last minute. And I know you're going to really, just try it. Just try it. And, you know, if you don't want to continue, you can always just drop. And it's, you know, you don't lose anything, but you still get all of the awesome things that are in that starter kit special right now. So don't let that special pass you by. I'm telling you, it's a really, really great deal, and it doesn't come along very often. Okay, enough about the starter kit. We are going to flip the camera around. We're going to do our Adorable Owls stamp set class, and I'm going to show you that stamp set as well as the Dandy Designs paper. So hold on one second while we flip you around. All right. Now, let me get everything kind of situated here. So if you are interested in my class that I'm offering tonight, you'll want to make sure that you use that host code. That's very, very important. You need to place at least a minimum $40 order with me. You can go to toocoolstamping.com and click on the Shop Now link, and that will take you to my online store. You can place an order, and then that host code is going to go on the checkout page. It's right at the top right column on the checkout page, and make sure that you add this particular host code, SFZ SNRBZ. So that will let me know that you want that particular class kit. Okay, let's see what we're working with today. The Adorable Owl stamp set. 3 super cute, whimsical little owl characters. And if you like to color, this is going to be a great class for you because lots of coloring. I'm going to show you lots of different color combinations that you can do on owls. Really, these are so cute. You could do any color. You could make them blue or pink or orange or whatever color you wanted to. But I'll show you several different ones that are a little more traditional, if you can call it that, for owls. So we'll look at that. There's also a few cute little sentiments that we're going to be using. So really, really fun. Our cards today, I'm going to do a lot of vertical folds, which is kind of strange for me. I usually do a traditional horizontal fold, but we'll be working with a lot of verticals. And we're also going to do 3 fun folds. So that'll be good. This is the paper we're going to be working with. Again, the Dandy Designs paper. You can earn this for free. Oh, I forgot to mention, earn this for free with a $50 order. So if you're going to earn that class kit for a $40 order, you might as well add $10 more on, get the stamp set or something else if maybe you already have the stamp set. And then this paper you can earn for a $100 order. It's the Dandy Designs. There's so many different beautiful, beautiful patterns here, and it is a mega pack. As I've mentioned before, this is just 12 of the patterns, They're double-sided sheets, and you'll get 4 of each of these 12 by 12 sheets. So I pulled this out of my pack, and then you also get, this is the whole rest of the pack. I mean, look at this. It's like 4 packs of paper. So you get all of that for a $100 order. So this is gonna last you forever. It's just incredible. Look at all that. So I have so much left, and it goes with so many things, so versatile. You'll definitely want to get the Dandy Designs paper. Again, only until the end of February with Sale-a-Bration. Okay, let's get started. Our first card, this is the only one that's going to be a traditional horizontal fold. So it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And it is with Sahara sand. I'm gonna use my bone folder and put a nice crease in there. I have a background piece here that we're gonna start. You don't wanna adhere this yet. This is basic white. It's 4 by 5 1/4. And we're gonna add a couple of pieces of the Dandy Designs paper. So here's one that is 2 by 4 1/4. So I'll add that. This is a brand new roll, brand new seal. Oh, it's not gonna work for me. Let me find my other one. Every once in a while I get one that hasn't worked. That hasn't happened very often, but every once in a while, figures it'd be the one that I wanted. You go live and that's what you get. Okay, here is the first piece. So just kind of offset a little bit. And then I have a second piece. It's the back side. And this one is 1 3/4 by 4. And we're just gonna offset this one. I'm gonna have this about the same width on the side and centered top to bottom. Just kind of a cute little backdrop. Now before we add it to our card base, I'm gonna add some of the balmy blue variegated ribbon. Have you guys tried this? It is really super thin, so it's easy to tie even though it's wide. And it's so, so pretty. It's great with this particular designer series paper. Have you noticed how much balmy blue color is in the current mini catalog? So many different designer series papers in there are featuring that color. So definitely a great ribbon to have on hand. So just tie it in a double knot. It's my favorite way of doing bows because it's so easy. Double knot and trim. And then we'll add this to our card fronts for a cute little easy background. The thing I really love about a layout like this is you could do any number of little strips of paper, whatever scraps you have left. You don't have to have a very big piece, you know, and the colors of the paper coordinate so well together. You could do, you know, 2 pieces, 3, 4 pieces just overlapped in various geometric shapes, and it becomes a really fun background. All right, now we're going to stamp our owl. I already have a basic white stylish shapes circle that I have die cut already. Let me get my owl here. So this one kind of is a flying one. I like that there's different, it's pretty much the same owl doing different things. So there it is. I just stamped him in Memento Black. We're going to do coloring, and that's the best ink to use with Memento or with the Stampin' Blends markers. Now, preferably you'd want to let this ink dry just a little bit. The longer you let it dry, the less chance you're going to have of bleeding when you start to color. Once it's dry, it's going to work really beautifully for you. But if you start to color a little bit too quickly, you might just see a little bit of feathering of that particular ink. So let me get my Stampin' Blends that we're going to use. Okay, I had so many different Stampin' Blends, I kind of put them in little bags because there was just so many I was getting confused at what I was using. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to start out with the eyes just because, And we're going to use balmy blue, light balmy blue. And there's a little tiny circle there in the iris. So that's like a little highlight. So you don't want to color that. Just leave that white. It's like a little shine on their eye. So this owl has balmy blue eyes. And then we're going to do some, this is light pumpkin pie. That's going to be for the beak. It may be light, but it's a very kind of a darker orange color. And then two light colors. Let's use light crumb cake. And I tend to like to use the a darker color for the outer feathers and then a lighter color around the eyes. I really love Stampin' Blends because you can't see the strokes of the marker when it's all dry. But you could use several different kinds of coloring mediums. You could use just regular Stampin' Write markers. If you have watercolor pencils and either blender pens or an aqua painter, water painter, you could use that. And then the last one I'm going to use is ivory. So remember, there's the pair of colors that have ivory and bronze. There's also the multicolor set, this can't remember what it's called, Natural Tones, I think is what it's called. And that has all the beautiful brown, like skin tone colors, which is also beautiful for any kind of animal. So you could try that and get some lights and darks from that set if you have it as well. So again, this is ivory. If you don't have ivory, that's okay. Try, I'm going to show you lots of different options. Really, any color owl is going to look great on this, on any of these cards. So I'm adding a little bit of Wink of Stella because, you need some sparkle and some glimmer and shimmer. And I think it really just makes these cute little animals, the cute little owls, pop. So I'm just doing shimmer around the light areas, maybe also the eyes. So cute. All right, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back here and pop him up on my card. So really, these cards are super simple. We're not doing a lot of fancy techniques. We are doing 3 different fun folds just to make it a little more exciting. But the techniques, stamping techniques themselves are not very complicated. So this, we're just going to add him right here. And then let's add a sentiment. I have a little strip, a 1/2-inch strip of basic white. And again, you're only going to need 1 stamp pad for this whole entire class. It's mainly all about coloring. So get your Stampin' Blends out, get your, like I said, your watercolor pencils, whatever you like to use. So I'm showing you this. A couple of the other cards are going to use die cuts for the sentiment. And I'm going to, but this one I'm just showing you, if you don't have the die cut, just cut a 1/2-inch strip. You can do a little banner on the side by going up with your snips in the center and then corner to center. And that helps keep those little banners a little more proportion. And then I'm going to add this right up here. So I need a little bit of seal adhesive and also a dimensional to pop that up. Okay. Did I take the back off of that? Yes, I did. I mean, I thought I did. There we go. And then we're going to finish it off with a couple of iridescent rhinestones. Friends, you only need 1 embellishment for this particular pack of paper because these rhinestones have every one of the colors featured in the Dandy Designs in the iridescence of it. You'll find greens and blues and pinks and oranges and yellows. It's all there. So it always looks beautiful with every pattern from this pack. So get some iridescent rhinestones, perfect addition, and that's going to help you out. It kind of plays off of that shimmer. I don't know if the camera picks up the shimmer, but I love that card. I think it's so cute. Okay, there's our first card. Let me show you the Too Cool version. So this is the other one that I did. This one is in gray granite for the card base. I used gray granite shimmer ribbon, 2 different patterns from the Dandy Designs paper. I colored it a little bit differently. I think I used gray granite to match, and then also some light crumb cake and some smoky slate for his eyes. And this time I didn't do the little banner on the side. I just made it a square piece. All right, so those are our first 2, and this one will be in your card kit. Okay, next we have a really cute design. Actually was inspired by Susan Campfield. We did a few swaps in the spring, early in January, I guess it was in December, for the Sale-a-Bration flyer. And this was a layout that she had featured on her swap. So I'm gonna start out with Coastal Cabana, 4 1/4 by 11, and then scored at 5 1/2. So a vertical fold. And you'll see why we definitely need that vertical fold because of what we do for our background. So we're going to do kind of a diagonal looking background with 3 different pieces of this Dandy Designs paper. The first one is, they're all going to be 5 inches long. The first one is 2 inches wide. The second one is going to be 1 inch wide, and it'll go like this. And then we have one that is 1/2 inch wide. Again, they're all 5 inches long. So we're going to add that to the background, and then we'll build on top of there. So this is just kind of making a fun, you know, having some fun with those different patterns. So I'm going to add some seal to each of my pieces. I got to get rid of this one. It's not working. Okay, here we go. I keep picking up the one that's not working. All right, so add some of that. Now how I'm going to put it on here is, I want it to be at a diagonal, but I want to make sure this corner is covered. So I'm going to start by making sure that's covered, making sure I have it clear over and covering every part of that front. And there is my background. So we have some sticky that's going to be showing. So be careful what you're laying that on so it doesn't get too stuck to something. All right, then we have our 1 inch piece. We're just going to lay that flush, just butting that right up to the next piece, and then the same with the 1/2 inch piece. Just butt that right up. And then we're going to use our super sharp paper snips and just, I'm going to start over here in this corner and just trim off the excess. So you might get a little bit of adhesive on your scissors. If you'd rather not have that, use scissors you don't like. If you have, they don't carry it anymore, Stampin' Up! Doesn't carry it anymore, but if you have the adhesive remover, it's a little like a rubber square, that works really great for getting adhesive off of scissors. All right, so here's our background. Isn't that cute? Just something a little bit different. Again, fun ways to use scraps that you might have left over from any designer series paper. Doesn't have to be this paper. Whichever ones, you know, coordinate, it just looks really fun. Okay, let's do another one of these Stylish Shapes die cuts. And that's gonna be, again, in basic white. This time we're going to do the owl with the party hat. So it's great for a birthday or any kind of a special type of an occasion where you might want a party hat. Again, it's going to be best if you let that dry very well. And let's get my next little baggie of Stampin' Blends. Now this is, I know there's a lot of coloring. I'm not going to color every owl. This will be the last one that I color. All the rest I have already colored, so we don't have to spend a lot of time on there, but I just wanted to show you another version and how that would work. So first we're going to color, let's see, I'm also featuring different ways that you can color the beak and the feet. The pumpkin pie works great. This is dark pale papaya. That's also a great color. So you can, there's a lot of different oranges that you can use. Then I'm going to do smoky slate, and that is going to be for my darker background feathers. So I like to do the head, and then the body. And I was going to say the hands because they kind of look like hands, but they are still feathers in the shape of hands. And now this one, I just decided that I'm going to leave the rest of the feathers white because there are little snowy owls that have a lot of white on them. So we're just going to keep that white. And I'll wink that up in a little bit with some Wink of Stella. And then let's do the party hat. We have Granny Apple Green, the light Granny Apple Green. And I'll do a couple stripes of that. Now there's no Coastal Cabana blends, but you can use the light Bermuda Bay. That actually works pretty well. So I'm going to use that. It's almost. And if you want something a little lighter, you could use Dark Pool Party. And the Dark Pool Party is actually what I'm going to use for his eyes. Again, leaving that the little highlight circle white. So that's all the color I'm going to put on him. Just a little bit of a different look this time. And let me wink him up a little bit. This is what really made it pop for me. It made it very sparkly and made that white look really cool. I'll show you up close as soon as I get it put together. A little bit on his tummy too. All right, let's pop that up with some dimensionals. These owls are just so cute. I never used to be into whimsical, and then, you know, Stampin' Up just kind of makes you love things. So, all right, I'm just going to add him right here. He sits kind of right on top of this little diagonal area. We have a little piece. This is also from the Stylish Shapes pre-die cut for you. And I'm going to use the It's Your Day sentiment because, you know, it's your birthday. So we'll add that right on the top. Whoops, I knew that wasn't going to be straight. All right, and that's going to be, we're just going to put that right there. You might want to have mini dimensionals. I think the regular dimensionals fit if you just line them up perfectly. But you might need some mini dimensionals just to, if you don't want to chance it. We'll add that again, kind of on the diagonal there. And then I've already tied a little bow here with the new Pool Party grosgrain ribbon. This is so beautiful. It's so elegant looking. It ties pretty well. And I'm just going to add it with a glue dot to the top there. So let me get my glue dots out. And I'm just going to add that the knot right onto the glue dot. Whoops, didn't want to pull it off. Let's try a different one. Maybe it's not going to work. There we go. I don't know what's wrong with that one. And then we're just going to add it to the side here. Just kind of offset that diagonal. Again, we're going to add some iridescent rhinestones because they're awesome. We'll put a big one right here and a little one and then a little medium one over here. So there you go. There's our second card. Can you see that shimmer around his eyes? So pretty. And then let me show you my Too Cool version of that. So this one I did in petal pink and 3 different patterns, of course. Same It's Your Day. I colored a little bit differently. I used petal pink, crumb cake, the light crumb cake. I used smoky slate for the eyes. I think the same dark pale papaya for the nose and the beak and the feet. And then I used dark pale papaya and fresh freesia just to make that party hat kind of pop. And then fresh freesia for the tied bow and the iridescent rhinestones again. So you can see if you look closely that I put that wink of Stella on there. Doesn't it make the white around the eyes just look so much larger than this one? I just thought the feathers looked so much like fluffier because they were white and sparkly. I don't know, maybe just me, but I did like both of those. And I did put a lot of wink of Stella. Oh, I forgot to put it on the party hat. You can see the wink of Stella on the party hat here, if the camera picks that up. All right, so in your class, you'll get all of the supplies for the first card. All right, next up, a fancy fold card. And so we have a different, let me get my ruler out because I know I'm gonna need it. All right, so this piece it's a granny apple green. It's gonna be 8, pretty sure. Make sure it's 8. No, it's 8.5. 8.5 by 4 1/4. And then it's scored at 4 1/4. So it's gonna be a square card base. And this is kind of be a display card, like a tent card. It's gonna stand up, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. All right, we're gonna decorate that with a piece of the Dandy Designs paper. This is 4 by 4, so that's a perfect size. You can get, you know, lots of these out of 1 sheet of paper. You can get 12, so you could make lots of cards like this. So there's our card front, and then I have another little piece here we're going to add to the front. This is also granny apple green, and it measures 2 3/4 by 4. And then I have a piece of pool party that's 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. And then I've already textured it with the, I think it's called Stripes and Splatters. Now I'm drawing a blank, but it's the embossing folder. It does fit into the mini embossing folder, so you could use it with that embossing machine that you get with a starter kit. But I liked how it kind of has a little bit of a wood look to it, almost like the trunk of a tree. That's why I liked it for the owl. So add a little bit of seal to that, and add it to this little piece. Now this little piece is going to be added to the front of this card. We want this card to end up to be the same as a traditional, same size as a traditional card, so 5 1/2 going this way. And so in order to make that kind of line up, I have a piece here that is the same size as a traditional card. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm just gonna place this over the top of it for positioning. This will not be in your kit, but I'm sure you have another, just any card you could put behind it. And then you're gonna adhere it so that that top is flush, so that'll make sure that that becomes a card that's the same size as a traditional card. And then you're just gonna center in between width-wise. So we only want to put adhesive from this point down on the back. So what do? We just flip it over 180, make sure it's nice and flush at the top. I'm going to use my Seal Plus for this because it's a little bit, might need a little bit of extra security. And I'm just going to add a few little strips here. I love the Seal Plus. Whoops. Has a little dimensional backing on there. You know those dimensional backings, they end up everywhere. We've talked about that before. Okay, So now we're gonna, again, line that up, flush at the top, and then centered in between. And then we have our card base. So it's kind of, you could have it stand up, and you can see that it's sticking out above there. Does that make sense? Now let's decorate. I've already made this little cute little adorable owl, stamped him in Memento ink on a die cut of basic white. It's from the Something Fancy dies, I believe, and the colors are light crumb cake, light soft suede, I think it's light pumpkin pie, and then fresh freesia, granny apple green, and light pool party. So that I tried to mimic all the different colors from this really pretty polka dotted paper. So that's going to go on our card with some dimensionals, of course, popping it up. So I'm really liking that these cards, like I mentioned, it's the background, the fun fold, that's what's really kind of making it a little bit different and interesting. Everything else is very simple stamping, just stamping on a die cut and coloring. All right, we'll finish up with a little sentiment. Again, it's kind of a birthday card, I guess. So we're gonna do another It's Your Day. I did it a little bit better this time, maybe. And then, of course, adding some rhinestones. I'm just going to kind of push that out just for some interest. It's kind of jutting out from that rectangle. And then more rhinestones. This time, let's do 2 over here and 1 up here. And then if you want, you can add some Wink of Stella again to your owl. And again, on the inside, you're going to have just your 4x4 basic white that's going to go on the inside to write your message. I just thought that was such a cute and different type of a card. And again, you can have it, you know, the recipient can have it stand up on their desk or on a mantle. So cute. I have to say, my Too Cool version for this one, not very exciting. It was the first one that I did, and everything's exactly the same, except I used the soft sea foam for the background. And I do like that the soft sea foam kind of matches that paper, but I thought that the owl popped a little better on Pool Party. So I kind of got lazy, almost exactly the same, but at least you can see the difference between those two colors. This is the one that's going to be in your kit. All right, we have 2 more fun folds that I know you're going to love. These are a little bit different. Okay. This one is going to start with, let's get our ruler out to make sure I have the right size here. So we have an 8" by 4 1/4. And it's going to be scored at 2.5 inches. Or if you do it this way, it'll be 5.5 inches, like a normal card width. So there is our card, the little short flap here. We're going to start by decorating the short flap with a little 1-inch strip of the paper. So 1 inch by 4.5 or 4 1/4, sorry. And just about to the fold line. And I have to do it. It's just a tiny bit, but I just have to cut that off. I have an OCD about it. Okay. Then we're going to add on the inside, I have a piece of designer series paper that's 5 by 3 3/4. I'm going to add that to the inside. So just center it right on there. Just a little subtle pattern for the inside. Okay, next we have a piece of, hold on one second, let me make sure it's the right size. Okay, this is a piece of basic white 3x3, and I'm going to adhere it to a Mango Melody, and this is a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So we'll add this piece. And then I'm going to add it to the card front only, right here. I'm going to have maybe 1/8 of an inch showing in between that designer series paper. So again, I want something to be pretty, I want it to be pretty secure, so I'm going to use my Seal Plus. You don't want to pop this layer up, and you'll see why in a minute. So there we go. Now we have this little card flap. All right. Next up, this is going to be a corner tuck card. Have you ever done that before? It's kind of a newer style that I've seen. And to make the corner tuck, you're going to have a piece of 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 square designer series paper, and you're just going to cut that diagonally. So we're just going to use one. That's going to go up here. To make it a little more sturdy so it doesn't tear or bend, I also cut another piece of just basic white 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 square, cut diagonally, and we're just going to add some adhesive and just put it on the back of this to make it a little more sturdy, and that's all that is. You wouldn't have to do it if you're just using cardstock by itself for the corner and not the designer series paper, then you wouldn't necessarily have to do that, because I think it would probably be sturdy enough. Again, I can't stand when I have just a little tiny bit showing. So pardon me as I cut some of that off. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right, now we're going to add this to the corner, and you want to use something pretty thin. If you want to do some Tombow adhesive, that's probably going to, actually let's do that. I was going to say tear and tape, but I think tear and tape might be a little bit too wide, and now I can't for the life of me remember exactly what I used. But I'm pretty sure that I used just a little bead of multi-purpose glue, the liquid glue, just on the outer edges, because you want this to be a little pocket. And let's flip that out of the way so we don't get any glue on it. And then just add this nice and flush to our corner. Because it's the liquid glue, you're going to want to just kind of hold it there in place for a little while. Let that dry. So let's just kind of set that aside, and we'll work on our owl. So I have a scrap piece here. This time we're going to do the last owl that we haven't used yet. This one looks like he's talking. I love this because I didn't do a card like this because I didn't want to limit anybody, but you can add a little graduation cap on there and it just looks so cute. You can put a little rolled up piece of paper to look like a diploma. It looks adorable. I've seen those done. It also looks great if you add add this owl to make a couple. You know, if you have like an anniversary or something like that. So that's super cute too. So this was my owl. Like I said, I've already done some pre-coloring just to save some time. This one is colored with light smoky slate, with light pale papaya for the lighter, or the feathers around the eyes, fresh freesia for the bow tie to match the color combination, and then light crumb cake for the eyes. And then I believe it is I can't remember what it is for the, I'm thinking it's a pumpkin pie. I don't remember for the orange. The oranges are so close, it's hard to tell. So, and then the other thing I did was cut it out. So there is no die that goes to this, but it's really not too hard to cut out. And because we're putting it on a white background, then if you don't cut it out perfectly, it's not going to really show very much. So don't worry about that too much. Okay, so we have this. Let's do our sentiment as well. So now I don't have my little die cut for that. All right, I'm going to show you the finished card with the sentiment on there because I forgot to bring my little sentiment die cut. So let's just finish this card as it is. We're going to tie some pale papaya open weave ribbon just to kind of dress up the front. And then I'll show you how to position that owl and how that corner tuck's going to work. I want to make sure that's nice and dry. That's why I'm kind of waiting. So double knot and trim the ends. Cute, cute, cute. And then we're going to tuck this underneath. Actually, before we do that, let me do one more thing. And I should have done this before I put the, this is something to keep note of if you have this kit. You should put this piece on before you put the corner piece because it'll cause a little bit of trouble. This is the inside message piece, and I'm going to put, I'm going to line it up right here on the front because we want to make sure that it's hidden. Let me get some, sorry, let me get some adhesive on here. It's been a while since I did this card, so I'm like, oops, I kind of did it out of order. All right, so we have adhesive going up, face up. We're going to have this. And if you don't have that corner down, then you can just flip this closed. Because I have the corner down, it's going to make it a little harder because I want to make sure that's underneath there. So I'm just going to kind of guess. And we'll just hope that that works okay. So if you don't have, whoops, except that it's crooked. Oh, you know I hate that. I thought I had it pretty straight still. Shoo! Let's try again. All right, shoo! I think I did it. I think I did it. Anyway, it's going to save you a lot of heartache and and having to pull it up again if you just do that before you put the corner down. Then put your corner down, then work on the front. All right, so you want to position that owl so that it's not too close to that corner. So we'll add him with some dimensionals. Like so. I'm going to leave some room down here for a sentiment. And this time, if you want to use the iridescent rhinestones, they still look awesome, but I thought for this card that the champagne rhinestones also looked fantastic. So I'm going to add some of those. And like so. And since I forgot my sentiment, I'll show you what my finished card looks like. So here is my finished card. I have a larger banner die cut from that Stylish Shapes, and have the last sentiment on there. Hoot hoot, you're so cute. And I just love how that turned out. I love this little top corner pocket tuck card. Super, super cute. Again, I didn't do the Wink of Stella on this one, but you're going to want to because you should put it on every one. Just shimmer it up. So we have this one and then my Too Cool version, which I also love, love, love because I love the color combination. And that's in Pool Party. I used Coastal Cabana for the outline. I used Fresh Freesia. I colored pretty much the same for the owl. And then you can see what it looks like on the inside. Tuck. Isn't that cute? I just love that. A little bit different. Has anyone done a corner tuck card before? All right. I think also, it seems like I got this idea a long time ago, but I hadn't tried it. But also Susan Campfield. She's got some really cool stuff. All right. And then my final card All right, this one also starts with a vertical piece of basic white. You're going to want to use the thick, sturdy cardstock. Again, it's 11 by 4 1/4. You're going to score it at the 5 1/2, the center point, and then also at the 10 mark. So there's a 1-inch piece there. We'll fold on that. Use our bone folder, and then this one is going to fold back like so. So that's going to be our card base. I'm going to start with a little strip of Dandy Designs. This is 1 1/4 by 4 1/4, and that's going to be on the inside, flush to the edge like that. And then we have a piece here of Sweet Sorbet. This one is 3 7/8 inch by 3 7/8 inch. And then we have Pale Papaya. This is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And we're going to add those together. And then I'm going to add this to this card, this little tiny flap that's our card front. This is going to become our card front, and it's going to be a little miniature Z fold. So again, I want that to be a really strong strip. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to use my Seal Plus. Maybe put 2 little overlapping strips there to make sure I have enough. And then add that, just kind of center it in that space. And there is our card base. Isn't that cool? Little Z fold action with just a little tiny flap, and then this fun flap on the front. Okay, we're gonna decorate that with a recessed window. I love recessed windows. So what that means is I have a piece here, 3 by 3 of the Dandy Designs paper, and I've used my stylish shapes, again, die cut a little bit smaller circle this time, to punch or to die cut a window out of the center of that. And that's going to go over here, and then we're going to have an owl underneath. So let's show you what that is. You'll have a piece of 2 3/4 inch square basic white paper. And you can do it a couple of ways. You can position this where you want it and then stamp it. I don't recommend that, just in case you might have some little ink, a little bit of ink on the edge that you get on the outside, and you don't want that to happen. So I just try to center it on the inside here of this piece, and then we'll work on positioning it later. Let me just show you the colors on here are Soft Suede Light. I use the Pale Papaya Dark this time to match the paper, and Calypso Coral for the beak, and the feet, the eyes are in Light Smoky Slate. All right, so to pop this up, I'm going to turn this piece over. I'm going to put a ton of dimensionals. So I'm going to put dimensionals in the outer corner, each of the outer corners, and then also one on each edge. You'll just barely be able to fit it there. You might even want to again use the mini dimensionals if you feel a little more comfortable with that. You don't want it going right to the edge. And then we'll take all of the backings off. And what I would recommend before you take the backings off, again, I don't have my chronological down, just kind of see where you're at. Don't put this down yet. If you don't have your adhesive on yet, it'll work better. But you can see that I don't know if you can see, but I can see that I have a little bit extra here at the bottom. So you just want to clip that off. So however you need to position it to make sure, hopefully I didn't take too much off there. Oh, I think I did. No, I didn't. Shoo, I lucked out. So you just want to position it, cut off any, that you might have sticking out, and then put that down gently. Remember, you're going to have some sticky that's showing, so whatever you're doing it on, you don't want to have it on paper or something that, you know, like your card or something that you don't want it to stick to. I just had it on my piercing mat here. All right, so there's the popped up recessed window. I love that look. And then we're just going to add a little bit of seal. Just gently add that to the back. It might not want to roll very well because it's harder to push on the dimensionals. And then we'll just center that. And there we go. Okay, and then we'll finish up with a little sentiment. Again, another die cut, that same banner shape. This time we're just going to say, my friend. And we'll add this right here. You might want to put a little mini dimensional. I don't know if I have one. So let me use, if you don't have mini dimensionals, you can always use the border of your regular dimensionals. Did you know that? I'm just gonna stick that up here. There we go. My friend. Aw, isn't he cute? Add some Wink of Stella. Sparkle him up a little bit. We're gonna finish him up with some champagne rhinestones again because it just goes so well with that paper. I'm going to use a small one just right up here, and then a couple of larger ones down here on the inside. So just kind of line it up with your sentiment so you have a little sparkle on the inside as well. Isn't that super cute? I love that fold. Really fun. So that is our last card. Let me show you my Too Cool version. So this one uses some different paper. I use the same plaid, only in the different colors. I pretty much colored him the same. I used Pool Party for the eyes. I used light crumb cake around his eyes for the feathers instead of the pale papaya. Otherwise, pretty much the same. I used Bermuda Bay was the outside, and then Balmy Blue was the inside layer. And used the iridescent rhinestones because they're super cute, as I've told you already. So there you go. Let me show you all of the cards again that you're going to get in your class kit. So you have, whoops, this one, and then where's my one I just had? Here it is. I covered it up. Corner tuck card. So here are all of the cards you'll be having. Let's do it this way. There we go. Hopefully we can get it all in the camera. So again, the class kits are going to contain all of the supplies that you need, all pre-cut, all pre-embossed, ready to go. You supply the stamps, ink, and adhesives, and then just assemble everything. I'll have a tutorial that I can email to you, and all you need to do is place a $40 minimum order at my online store. You can find that at toocoolstamping.com. Click on the Shop Now link. That'll take you to my online store. Remember, you must use the host code in order for me to know which class to send you for free. It's the only way you're going to qualify for the class. The host code is applied on the checkout page at the very top right before you see all of the dollar amounts for, you know, the cost of your order. So you'll put that code SFZSNRBZ, and that will get you my free kit, and that will last through the end of February. So again, I hope you really enjoyed the Adorable Owls class. So cute. Beautiful paper. You got to get this paper if you haven't already. It just goes with so many things. I hope you love it as much as I do. If you have any questions, remember, about the starter kit special, please let me know, because you know what? If you place orders on a regular basis, you really ought to save money by getting that starter kit. You're going to get a special awesome deal just with the starter kit, the special that's happening during Sale-a-Bration, and then you'll get 20% off every order after that. So you're going to save, save, save. You're still going to be able to get my class kits. You'll just pay a flat fee of $15 directly to me, and then you can order your supplies through your own self and save, save, save. So if you have any questions, again, contact me, message me, or if you already have my email address, you can go ahead and send it to me that way. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. You really ought to do it. There's no strings attached, and I would love, love, love to have you on my team and have a lot of fun with you stamping, you know, wherever you are in the country. Doesn't matter. I have team members from all over the country, and most of them are just happy discount hobby shoppers. So I hope you can join us. Again, don't forget that you can get that owl stamp set for free during Sale-a-Bration with a $50 order. The class kit's a $40 minimum, but that $50 order is going to get you a free stamp set. If you already have it, then you can get one of the other Sale-a-Bration items for free. The Dandy Designs paper pack, that huge, huge, huge mega pack, you can get that for free with a $100 purchase. And that's all through the end of February. All right, again, any questions, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of the cards. And I'm so glad that you had the opportunity to join me, whether it's live or with a replay. I'm so glad that you could join us. All right, until next time, I will talk to you soon. This is Angie with TooCoolStamping.com. Bye-bye.